Hey, everybody, hope you all are doing well, and welcome back to Michael's Matters. Now that we are back from the New Year's, and again, Happy New Year's, everybody, by the way. 2023 is shaping up to be an interesting year for those folks who are retired or on Social Security benefits. So things like Social Security Retirement, Social Security Disability SSDI, Supplemental Security Income SSI, or VA and Railroad Retirement Benefits. The reason is because a lot of states, especially after the wave of retirements last year from the Great Resignation, well, they're trying to figure out what is the best way, or rather, should they at all change the way they tax retirement benefits or Social Security benefits. So today, I'm going to do an updated 2023 top 10 most tax-friendly states for retirees. Now, if you like these videos, if you find them interesting, if you find them helpful, or hey, you know what, if you at least find them useful, please don't forget to like and subscribe. And that way you can get updates when our newest and most informative videos become available. All right, now, let's get down to the list. All right, so starting off at the bottom of the list. So number 10, the 10th most tax-friendly state to retire in 2023 is the state of Tennessee. Now, first and foremost, one of the best things about Tennessee is that it is one of the few states in the union that doesn't have a state income tax. The median property tax rate in Tennessee comes out to $560 in tax per $100,000 of assessed home value, and there is not an estate or an inheritance tax. Furthermore, specifically for retirees, there's no specific tax on Social Security benefits, pensions, or distributions from retirement plans. Now, the only real downside to the volunteer state with regards to tax is the average 9.547% state and local tax, which, as you can imagine, really adds up over time. Also, oddly enough, they tax groceries at 4%, which is kind of weird. Now, next up on the list at number 9 is the state of Idaho. And although they may be known for their potatoes, they also have a pretty good tax policy for retirees as well. So in 2023, Idaho does not tax estate or inheritance, as well as it has a relatively low sales tax and a local sales tax that combine to make an average of 6.02%. It has the 5th lowest median property tax in the country at $492 per $100,000 of assessed value. And if you are 65 years or older, you may qualify for some property tax reductions or deferrals. Now, one not so great aspect of the Idahoan tax is their income tax, because it only taxes 1% of the incomes for incomes up to $1,588 or $3,176 for joint filers, but anything over that gets taxed at 6%. So it's kind of sort of a downside. Number 8. So no surprise that Arizona is on this list. Me, judging by the ramblings of my aunt, who is threatening to move to Arizona as soon as she can retire. Well, Arizona is known to be a bastion for those retirees who are tax conscious. First, because they don't put any state tax on Social Security benefits or up to $2,500 of income from federal or Arizona government retirement plans. Also in 2023, it'll move to a flat tax rate for all incomes of 2.5% in the state, which I think is a pretty big win for sure. Now, on the flip side, the median property tax rate is a bit higher than we saw in Tennessee at $508 per $100,000 of assessed value, but the state does not tax either estate or inheritance either. Now, for the negatives, though, Arizona does have a pretty high state and local sales tax. When combined together, it comes out to 8.37% on average. Now, that doesn't seem too bad, especially I checked here at Costco the last week in LA, and I saw the tax was 10.95%. So looking at 8.37%, still not that bad, especially when you add together all the other accumulative tax benefits for retirees in Arizona. All right, number 7. So number 7 on this list is one that came, at least to me, as a surprise, which is Washington, D.C. Now, I always assumed that it was a very tax-heavy district, like a New York or Los Angeles or Chicago, but they actually have some pretty beneficial taxes for older Americans or retirees. That is, if you fall into the right brackets. For example, the city doesn't tax Social Security payments, but it does tax most other typical retirement funds. But if you can qualify for the city's income tax credit that are paid on property, you can also get as much as $1,250 as a refundable credit. And if that is more than the tax bill that you actually owe, well, the city is going to cut you a check, kind of like a stimulus check, I guess. Also, if you are 70 years old or older, you can have an income of up to $78,600 a year and still qualify for that tax credit. While if you are under 70 years old, it's at $57,600 worth of income. Also, the median property tax, not that bad. $552 per $100,000 of assessed value. So, pretty good. Now, the downside for the District of Columbia, though, is first, there is an estate tax on estates that are worth more than $4,254,800. The average local sales tax is relatively high as well at 6%. And I guess the biggest bummer, at least for higher earning seniors, is that for income that is over $1 million, the city will tax it at 10.75%. So that's pretty rough. Next up is a state that is ideal if you love a bit of Southern charm and sweet Southern drawls, which is South Carolina. And I think it's a pretty good state because they have some pretty amazing tax benefits for those folks who are retirees or living as older Americans. First, Social Security benefits are completely tax exempt. Additionally, if you are 65 years or older, you can exclude up to $10,000 of your retirement income and $15,000 per person of other taxable income, which is quite a hefty benefit. Additionally, if you are a veteran, 100% of your military pension is going to be exempt from all South Carolina state taxes. Furthermore, the median property tax rate is on the lower side at $518 per $100,000 of assessed home value, and there is no estate tax. But of course, it is not all sweet tea and sunshine in South Carolina because they got to get the money from somewhere. And the state has a levy of 6% of a sales tax on all sales, as well as local governments, which are allowed to add as much as 3% on top of that. But the average combined rate in reality comes out to about 7.44%. So not all that bad, but you're definitely going to notice it when you go buy a candy bar. All right, so let's talk about the number 5 state in 2023 that is best for retirees, which is Nevada, which is known for its glitzy shows, gambling, and actually pretty good benefits for retirees. Nevada as a state doesn't have an income tax, which I like the sound of that. Also, there is no estate tax, nor is there an inheritance tax, and it has the third lowest median property tax in the United States at $484 per $100,000 of assessed home value. So really, the benefits are pretty straightforward, and there isn't really many ifs, ands, or buts about the benefits. But one thing that Nevada could do better, at least against some of its peers, is its local sales tax. The state has a standard 6.85% sales tax, and counties can add it to as much as 1.53% on top of that. But when you actually average everything out altogether, it comes out to 8.23%. So again, they got to find the money somewhere. Also, just to pat myself on the shoulder, notice I didn't make any cheesy gambling references. You can thank me later. Now, for the number 4 state, when you think of Wyoming, you may be thinking of the beauty and the grandiosity of national parks like Yellowstone, or perhaps thinking about handsome cowboys and cow ladies, cowgirls, I guess, from that TV show. But yeah, technically I know it's in Montana. I got it. Either way, the taxes are very beneficial in Wyoming for those folks who are on Social Security or who are retired. Of course, there is zero income tax, estate or inheritance tax for seniors. And unlike Nevada, the sales taxes are actually pretty low at 5.36%, which puts it at the 8th lowest local and state sales tax in the country. Additionally, property taxes are pretty low as well at $545 per $100,000 of assessed value. So there is a downside here, which I can't really think of, but I guess it would be if you are not really into the rural life, perhaps Wyoming isn't that good for you, but if you like good tax benefits, Wyoming could be quite good. For the next state, Colorado is one that admittedly I think pretty much everybody has at least thought in passing about retiring to. I mean, it's got the Rockies, it's got super friendly people, and it has very lax recreational laws, if you catch my drift. But you know what? For seniors, it also has very good tax advantage policies as well. For example, it has the 4th lowest property tax in the country at $485 per $100,000 of assessed home value. Also, for qualified seniors, there are exemptions, rebates, and deferrals on those property taxes. And if you don't claim them, there's also a $1,000 flat credit for certain seniors. Also, strangely enough, but I like the idea, there is a property tax work-off program that lets Coloradians who are 60 years and older, instead of pay a portion of their property tax, can work it off. They can do things for the state, I guess. And lastly, there is a flat 4.4 flat income tax on everybody in the state. So that seems kind of fair, I guess. Now, another benefits for seniors 65 and older in Colorado is that they can deduct all Social Security benefits that are subject to federal taxes from their Colorado income taxes as well, the state ones. Now, the only downside to Colorado is that even though the overall state only has a sales tax at 2.9%, local governments can increase it by as much as a whopping 8.3%, which really brings that local sales tax up when it all adds together. All right, so as we round the bend on the end of this video, let's talk about the number 2 state on this list, which is unexpectedly Hawaii. Now, I guess I had always assumed, again, Hawaii, being so beautiful and being so isolated, was just going to be crazy expensive as a state to live in, since, again, it's an island. But they do have some preferable tax policies for older Americans. First, as you would imagine, to be on this high of the list of top 10 tax-friendly states for retirees, Hawaii doesn't have any Social Security benefits taxes. Other traditional retirement incomes also are exempt, so things like 401k plans, etc., etc. And most surprisingly, to me at least, is the fact that the property tax rates in Hawaii is the lowest in the whole of the US of A. The contiguous one or not. Because their median property tax comes out to $273 per $100,000 of assessed value. But again, keep in mind the housing and the real estate prices there are super expensive because it's an island, and let's face it, they aren't really making any more of it. Well, actually, in Hawaii's case, they are making more of it, but it's just really, really, really slow, and you have to wait for it to cool down. Now, the biggest downside of living in Hawaii are going to be for those older Americans who are high income, because there are estates taxes on estates worth over $5.49 million, which range from 10 all the way up to 20%. Also, again, for higher income Hawaiians, the income tax rate tops out at 11%. So if you are a higher income household or person and you're living in Hawaii, just be aware the Hawaiian taxman, he's going to take his cut. Now, lastly, and definitely not least, is a state that, to be honest, I did have to look up exactly where it was in the country, because I know it's on the Northeast, and I have family who live there, but it's the exact longitude and latitude is a bit wonky, which is the state of Delaware, which, I mean, you would expect from a state that has a motto of liberty and independence. It is the first state in the union, and also the first state on this list, because it has no sales tax, it has a low property tax, and it has no death tax, which really eases up on the notion of give me liberty or give me death. But moreover, the property taxes are pretty low at $533 per $100,000 of assessed home value, making it the 9th lowest in the country. And interestingly enough, some seniors can qualify for a $400 school property tax, which I guess is you don't have to pay that extra money because you don't likely have children going to the schools. Also, there is no estate tax or inheritance tax, which is, again, par of this point. You would expect that for the number 1 on this list, but it's still pretty good. And your Social Security benefits are also exempt from taxation. Now, the one downside, and it's not really a downside in the grand scheme of things for Delaware, but the only real downside is that if you are 60 and older, you can only exclude up to $12,500 of pension or retirement income from your taxes instead of all of it like in some of the other states. So, that being said, at number 1, Delaware should change the state motto to Delaware, a great place to retire, at least for tax purposes. Doesn't really have the same ring to it, though. All right, so that's it for Michael's Matters and the top 10 best states to retire to in 2023 for tax reasons. And I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it interesting. I hope you found it helpful. And you know what? I really hope you found it useful. And if you did, please don't forget to like and subscribe. And that way you can get updates when our newest videos come out. Now, so for Michael's Matters, I'm Michael, hoping that you take care of yourself, take care of others, and have a happy, healthy